Greetings, this is the Question GM. So this is RPGADay day 11, and the word of the day is stack. So I'll be pretty honest, I'm actually drawing quite a big blank on the word stack. I think there's nothing I can really think worthwhile to say about stack on an in-game basis. If I really just have to shoot something off, this is probably more of a topic related with rules design, or at least if when I'm reading rules, some of the things that I notice or I pay attention to uh, is rule stacking, and this may be just a concept that I'm trying to retrofit or try to shoehorn into today's word. But the idea is generally when the rules of a character, are trying to do something, how deep is the rules? And this is maybe what I would consider to be depth. So an easy example would be to look at, say, Dungeons and Dragons. When you are performing a skill check, it is generally just it's just generally one step. You roll a d20, you add your modifiers, and if you beat the the DC, the target number, you succeed or you fail depending on the result. However, if you look into the building of skill checks, you have to understand the concept of the ability that is being used, the ability modifier that is included. So that's one rule above the skill check, which is if you're going on a very strict reading, a skill check should not be differentiated from any other ability check. It's actually an ability check, but on its base. And this is stacked. With the ability check on its base, the next thing that you have to be familiar with as a concept is the idea of proficiency bonus. So how do you determine proficiency bonus? That is determined by your level. So there is another level stacked on top of the ability check, which is the proficiency bonus. And possibly what can be stacked above your proficiency bonus is the exceptions that your class has. There could be relations to your background. There could be relations to any class features that you have that gives you extra abilities related to your proficiency bonus. For example, like the rogues or the bard's expertise that allows you to double your proficiency bonus. So that's another stack on top of the proficiency bonus, which is how your understanding your class features, or even your racial features, or even your background features, and that can be even separated to its own separate stack if you choose to do so. The idea here for me is the higher the stack, or the deeper the amount of steps that's required to do something, can affect the an engagement to the game, and it can be for good and bad reasons. The good reasons is obviously there is a level of depth. It shows that it's something that the players will have to think ahead, to plan, to try to optimize, and some games are built to reward optimization and some are not. But at the same time, there's also the higher stack or the deeper the rules also means there is a further disengagement from maybe the role-playing aspects of the game. So this is going to be this is a difficult balance. This is a design choice of the designer, I believe. One who if this is a system that leans towards more simulationist sort of gameplay, they want to catch every details of decision making to lead to a certain outcome, then it is quite possibly they will go for a high stack game. If it's something that is more focused on the moment and trying to reduce as much checks or additional mechanics to just perform one thing, or if you want to call it the narrativist approach to intent of games, then the stack is probably going to be lower. So I I'm guessing this is probably not something new to any game designer, but this is maybe not discussed in this way. How high are the stack of your rules? And I think one personal example that I went through when I was when what really brought this idea up to me was there was one time when my group we tried to play Spycraft. I believe it was second edition, and you know, because there was no quick start rules, I believe, or at least we didn't have the quick start rules if there was one, and we tried to play it off the book, and we were more in the mood of uh, let's figure it out on the table as we try to do something. And it was not a great experience because when we as we as we decided what we wanted to do, and we started flipping the books just to find out exactly how to do it. Uh, then it was then we realized that just to perform something, it required several rules and checks to determine if uh, we we could even reach the point of the check that we wanted to make. So for me, it was noticing the stack. That was how I noticed this. There was rules stack upon rules, stacked upon rules, and it was obviously a game that we needed more time to study initially. It was not a game that was made to be, in a proverbial sense, plug and play. So I don't know, is this going to be helpful for any rule designer, but maybe it's a concept that you can think about. How high are you stacking your rules, or some may say is how deep are you making your rules to be. If I'm seeing you having a high stack of rules, I'm probably guessing that you're going for a certain kind of play, a certain kind of play style that is more inclined one over the other. And if I see you have a lower stack of rules, uh, then it is also sending me messages and signals of what is it exactly that your rules are made to do. So I guess that would be all for me, because as I said, it's really a tall order to think of something useful for the word of stack. But I hope maybe if anyone's watching this, and even if you're not a designer, if you're just someone who likes to read a lot of different game rules, try to notice the stack. Try to see how high the stack is, and maybe you may find it necessary, maybe you won't. But in any case, it's probably an interesting lens to look through your games and learning new mechanics. So I guess that'll be all for me for RPG A Day 2020, day 11, and the word stack. So I'll see you all on day 12.